We have an older demographic here in the 158, and a lot of us have health care, are concerned about losing health care. Those of us without health care are concerned about getting it, and will it be substantial enough to cover us? We're concerned about our young adults who are, insured now till 26 on their parents' policies, but, how long is that going to happen for? And when they do turn 26, is the policy that they get going to be as substantial as the one they had before? And how much is it going to cost? Again, one catastrophic illness in a family could bankrupt us. So I think that's something that I'm hearing a lot about, and I think it's something that we need to really be paying attention to and talking about. Gun violence prevention is enormously important to this area. Our young people have had it, as they should. We've had plenty of time to address this. We've had actually decades to take a look at this, and we haven't. And, we only start talking about these things when it's politically expedient, and that's troubling. That is deeply troubling, and our kids are watching. And I'm proud of them. I'm really, really proud of them for saying they're not going to take it anymore, because the fact that we only talk about taking guns away from domestic abusers in an election year is frankly craven. How many women could we have saved in the last year if they had brought up a bill that would have done this in the Pennsylvania legislature last year? And that's our leadership. That's what's going on in the majority in Harrisburg right now. And that's why I think we really need a change up there. So those are the kinds of things that I'm hearing about.
It's rare for a freshman state legislator to come in with as much experience in the state legislature as you have already. Mm-hmm. So how do you sort of take that experience and use it when you get there? What would your strategy be, especially for working across the aisle, presumably even in a blue wave year, even if the Democrats manage to take back the state house, there's going to be issues on which you have to have bipartisan support. So what are the ways that you think that you could take the experience that you have and really improve the legislature and work with people there?
I think it would help a lot if all of us, frankly, go in on swearing-in day and say, don't expect us to fall in line. I think it starts with the leaders that we elect to run our caucuses. It starts with building and nurturing relationships on both sides of the aisle immediately, and not just with your incoming class, with people who have been around for a long time also, and more importantly, people that you disagree with. I think it's really, really important to understand all the different viewpoints, because, getting something done that only one side supports really doesn't serve the public, in my opinion. I think the best pieces of, policy that are created in Harrisburg and at the federal level are those where people work for a long time to get something done, and everybody leaves the room and they've given something up. If you walk out of the room with everything you want, then there was absolutely no compromise there. My father taught me that years ago. He was a international patent license negotiator, and he negotiated and brought people to consensus for a living. So I've known this style of work for a long time. So that's how I would approach the job.
So we're seeing a lot more women running for office this year. We've seen a ton of great women running in Pennsylvania in particular, and it's a state that's known for not having very good representation by women. Could you talk a little bit about the kinds of things, the qualifications that you see women being able to bring to this job?
Yeah, Pennsylvania, again, has another wonderful distinction of being 49th out of 50 states in the number of women we have in our legislature. So, we are not being accurately represented at all when you have that few number of women in representing the people of Pennsylvania. And I think women are uniquely qualified to run and lead because we do so much of this every day. We care for children. We care for aging parents. We say goodbye to them. We manage their care. We run households. We run businesses. We are doctors and lawyers. We are business owners. we have to multitask from the time we get up to the time we go to bed. And I think we have an ability to collaborate and troubleshoot and come to consensus that is unparalleled. I see it all the time. I see, there are statistics and studies that show that organizations that have women at the top perform far better. And, I think Fortune 500 companies have found this, that the more women they have, the more efficient their workforce is, the more morale comes up, and bottom lines go up. Everything rises when there are more women at the table. And I think that's what we need to start to think about here in Pennsylvania in terms of our government, our state government. I think everything comes up when you bring more women, and it's obviously more equitable. I don't think any of us are looking to overthrow the government, and I've got a lot of men in my household, and I love them dearly, and they bring wonderful things to the table as well. But I think we need more women in government, period. I'd like to bring everything that I do, and I've learned over my years as a mother, as a business person, as a professional, as a nonprofit, as an individual to the table. I think we have a lot to offer.
Yeah, I think particularly in your portion of Pennsylvania, so the southeastern part there seem to be so many women running for state legislature.
Yes, we're seeing that too. And it is, I have to say, it is such an honor to be on the trail with these women because every single one of them is highly qualified. These are not women that just popped up out of the ground. These are women that have started and created, very successful businesses that have been working at the federal and international level, who have been educators, who have been union employees. And, we just have an amazing array of talents and skills. And I just think about what that would bring to the legislature if these women all got elected. It would be fantastic.
And I believe, so we mentioned this before when we were talking Pennsylvania, but the federal contingent of representatives from Pennsylvania to the federal government is all men right now. And at least one of the districts has to be a woman this year because there's a Democratic and a Republican women running against each other in one of the districts. So hopefully far more than one, but...
This is the 6th congressional district, and we've never had a woman here, and we've never had one from Pennsylvania, so it would be fantastic. And I think the candidate running for this seat would be wonderful at the job. So I look forward to her winning and hopefully working alongside of her, from the state level.
Well, if our listeners would like to help out your campaign, how can they do that?
If they could go to my website, it's www.ChristinaSappeyPA158.com. There are lots of things that you can do. There's donations page. There are ways to volunteer, and there's lots of information about the things that I'm fighting for. And there's also a way to reach out and contact me with questions, concerns, and ideas. And you can follow us on Facebook also, Christina Sappey for State Representative.
Great. We'll put links for that up on our website as well.
Wonderful. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for talking to me. This is really great, and I love seeing people who are so qualified, especially I think we've talked to several women now who have a lot of sort of behind-the-scenes qualifications and are now running for office themselves, and I think that's just fantastic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk and get the word out about how important this election is this year.
Thanks for listening to Two Broads Talking Politics. Our theme song is called Are You Listening? Off of the album Elephant-Shaped Trees by the band Immunuri, and we're using it with permission of the band. Our logo and other original artwork is by Matthew Wethlin and was created for use by this podcast.